Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Nerd Sanctuary. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the safety of your nerddom. And remember, please hit that like button and subscribe. All right, friends, we have a new event on the Magic Arena homepage. It is a workshop titled Uncharted Paths, as usual. Today we get only a choice of 2 decks. So we're going to go over both of them, talk about how I like to choose one of these decks, and see if we can't get the prize here, which is just one of these caches. Have her sack. Random reward. So let's look at both the decks. We have Divine Tokens and Self-Mill. So basically, when looking at these pre-constructed decks that are meant to fight against each other, created by WotC, I like to figure out what separates them. Is it synergy? Is it removal? Is it a wrath? Is it a number of good cards like rares? So we're gonna dive right into them here. So we see basically a pretty heavy token synergy with Divine Visitation, which is exactly what we expected based on the name Divine Tokens. So we have something to make our enchantments cost less. An enchantment creature just buffs our health a little bit, no big deal. Makes a token, token maker, token maker, token maker, and enchantment. Removal, removal, token maker, and enchantment payoff. Token payoff, and enchantment, and makes a bunch of tokens. We also have 2 Castle Ardenvales. So this deck seems actually pretty solid for the power level of the decks that normally come out of these things. I really like this deck and the design of it. So that's pretty cool. We have a lot of payoffs, a lot of synergy going on here, and quite a bit of removal. So we have 2 basic strategies here. There's the making tokens big and just, you know, pumping out massive amounts of tokens based on enchantments, which I think all the numbers are pretty close to here. So let's take a look at the other deck here, titled Self-Mill. So I'm guessing the strategy here is to mill yourself for some sort of amount of payoffs. Just giving a brief look at it here, we have Self-Mill bouncing a bunch of things, so some sort of like tempo, which is interesting. Hand attack. Okay, Self-Mill. Kind of Self-Mill, buyback. Not a whole lot here, like a thought eraser. That doesn't seem great. I guess you could buy back a discovery dispersal. I don't know. I'm a little interested in why this card is here, but eh. Okay, here's one of our payoffs. So you Self-Mill. This gets a trigger. It only gets it once per time you trigger it, though, which is interesting. And you can attack in for most likely 3 or 4 unblockable. That's cool. Narcomoeba, cool. That doesn't do a whole lot in this deck as far as I can tell. Another hand attack. Okay. This guy gets bigger based on the amount of different mana costs in your graveyard, so it's a payoff for Self-Mill. That's cool. Another bounce effect. Creeping Chill, another payoff for milling yourself. It's a good choice. So you just drain them for 3 every time you hit this. That's cool. I guess this does count for off the top. Okay, so yeah, you can hit some cards off of that, but it's just a good creature. Hard to block. 1 pouncing shore shark, sure. And some more stuff to put your stuff in your graveyard. Interesting. This doesn't seem to have as many payoffs or reasons to be in the deck. No removal, like removal. So I'm going to go with the white deck. I think it's the more powerful deck. It has a higher synergy, has more removal, and I think it has more play to it. So that's what we're going to try. Just jump right into it. All right, looking at this hand, we have some early mana. It's not ramp, but at least it gets us to our 3rd land for our removal spells and our Divine Visitation. So yeah, I'm going to keep this hand. Seems a little slow, Hope we don't get it run over, but it seems alright. We're also on the play, which is good. Okay. I don't know if it's guaranteed that you play against the other deck. I think it is. So, that's what we're playing against. We knew that since this is a mono-white deck. We don't have any favorable passages. We just have the 2 castles. Definitely getting out the Birth of Meletus here so we can get our next land. And our first build. Okay, so they have their self-mill going on. That's good for them. Curious whether they're gonna hit us or... So we can just exile that. But I think I'd rather hit their payoffs. So that's good. Non-land permanent. Wow, they got another one. That's pretty good. No follow-up to trigger these is a little rough for them. We whiffed on our land, which is a bit of a bummer. See, this only hits creatures or planeswalkers. Yeah. So I think what we're going to do is hit one of these secrets with our Conclave Tribunal. Yoink. Sure, that doesn't do anything. Oh, Creeping Chill, nice hit. We do need to hit a land here real fast or we're going to fall way far behind. Wow, no follow-up there, no land. Interesting. Just going to get in there for 2. Now, I don't think he actually has a card in hand. The reason his time is stopping there is because of this activated ability, which he did have 1 mana for. So, I think that's all that was. Sure. Bit of a tempo play for him. Not bad. Okay, we did finally hit a land. Alright, before we play that land, I don't want him to know what he drew, so we're just going to go to attacks here. Very good. And we're gonna Conclave. Drown Secrets again. Now, see, we could hit his Narcomoeba here so he doesn't start gaining life off of the Shadow Spear, but I don't think I care all that much. I'd rather keep the removal for one of his good payoffs. Well, another Brazen Barber. Oh, now he's just going to take it. Cool. Get a Creeping Chill. Well, at least there's our mana, so that's good. Actually going to make an interesting play here. I just want this Scry so we hit the next good thing here. So we're going to grab the land, and now we're going to Prison Realm his Narcomoeba. So we get the Scry to dig for some good stuff. That ain't it. And we'll get him for 4 again. Wow. Another cheap Creeping Chill. He's had good luck not drawing those. Every time I play with Creeping Kill, I end up drawing 2 or 3 of them. The island? Ooh, no, even better. It's gonna mill quite a bit here. So I didn't notice a kill condition for milling himself without the win condition in play, like the merfolk that you win the game. You have enough dudes. I'm sorry, enough devotion and blah blah blah. So I'm not sure if he should be going this hard at milling himself. Might end up just killing himself. Alright, no reason to play our land here. Just gonna make a bunch of dudes, gain a bunch of life. Yep. Ding, ding, ding. Turn. Okay, so now he can Brazen Borrower to get all his effects. Okay, sure. Drawn secrets. Is that 10 cards in his library? 8, 7, or 6. Down to 4 cards. It's about to lose 3. There you go. Okay. Ooh. That might end up being a pretty good draw later on. Let's just get in there. Just gonna play another favorite top play. This time we will play our lane. Now this thing doesn't have lifelink, so... And he can't play a blue card or he'll kill himself. He's in a tough spot. I'm not sure what he's really planning on doing here. And we didn't see any rafts, so there's definitely the blue spell that bounces all the soldiers, right? I guess he could bounce all humans. Yeah, so that could do it. Buy him a turn. That's not going to do it. Okay, he's out of cards in deck. Yep. We're sitting pretty at 27. Doesn't have lifelink or anything. I don't know. I'll just block. Okay. Yep. Got there just like I thought. He used all of his payoffs. Or didn't get a payoff in play before he started milling himself. What I was kind of afraid of with that deck. So let's just look again at these deck choices. Okay. So, let's inspect the decks. There we go. So this is the deck we ended up playing. I do think it's the better deck by a long shot. Not even close. We didn't even play any of our payoffs, Divine Visitation or the Archon of Sun's Grace. But we just had a couple of removal spells and some good token makers, went real wide. And just kind of trickled them down, and I think the other deck is a lot more finicky. So we're going to look at that other finicky deck, which is really what I think led to his loss. So like I was saying in the deck tech, it played out exactly like we expected, where if you don't have one of your payoffs early, or you can't draw one late, Creeping Chill's not going to get you there. This is only 12 damage if you hit every single one of them, and especially against the white deck that's we gained a ton of life there. We got hit by 3 Creeping Chills and still ended the game at, what, 27? So, when you're playing what I would suggest, which is the white deck, I would highly suggest you pay attention to this card. Now, it still requires a lot of mana, which our opponent didn't end up having. So, I really just don't think this deck is well placed against the white deck. I think you're going to win a lot more games with the white deck. So, when it comes down to it, when trying to get your haversack, choose divine tokens. Straight up, wasn't close, easy peasy. That's what logic gets you. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. I hope it helps. Thanks for watching, and remember to stay safe out there.